Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great day today. My name is Cody, and I want to thank you so much for stopping by the farm today. So today's video, we are just doing a quick update on my potato growing challenge. So all of the potato plants here that you see, I've gotten from one seed potato. It had originally 7 eyes on it. And then my dog ended up eating that one, so I had to get a new one, same batch anyway, another 7-eyed potato. But this is the growth from that, and now I had alluded to a mystery growing technique that I was going to reveal, and today's that day. So originally I divided my potato up into 7 of the eyes that I saw on there, and in these large black pails, that's what you see. And the soil or compost mixed is about a third of the way up there, and I planted the seed potato into that. And then all of this green here is what you see from that potato growth, and all 7 of them have done really well. Now I did have one secret that I was going to utilize to see about getting even more than 7, and I guess I can go ahead and show you here. So what I have done essentially is I've taken cuttings from each of the original 7 plants, and then I've got them in these little pots to develop roots and to grow into their own plant. So this is a cutting from one of these original plants that I have here, and I'll get a close-up for the camera here, but you can see, I should hopefully cut to a close-up here, that this little cup of soil now is full of roots. So this plant now, it's from the original seed potato, from a cutting that I've now rooted into these pots, and I'm going to get them potted up and grow them on as well. This idea first came to me actually earlier this year when I was working on my aeroponics garden, and one of the tomatoes, one of the cells, I had I think 3 tomato plants in there, and I ended up pinching out 2 of the smaller ones, and not wanting to let them go to waste because they were still quite nice. I just put them in a little cup like this, stuck the tomato plant in there, and just left it, you know, and I came back a week later, the plant was still green. I checked the roots, and sure enough, it had rooted from that stem cutting. And now, you might know this, you might not, but potatoes and tomatoes come from the same family of plants, Solanaceae. So that just got me thinking that maybe I could root potato cuttings the same way that I rooted the tomato cuttings. And that led me down a whole rabbit hole on the internet. I ended up finding a rather obscure, I think it was a Peruvian Potato Institute research paper that had dived deep into this same process, and it's a great way to help multiply, what this paper discovered anyway, was a great way to help multiply from a single potato to get a lot of potatoes, and it also helps to stop any soil-borne diseases from spreading generation to generation, because the soil that you use obviously can be sterile potting mix or compost, whatever, but it's not going to come into contact with any of the soil-borne pathogens that planting a tuber would have. So if your potatoes suffered from any soil-borne pathogens, you can get that removed completely by doing stem cuttings like this. And long story short, it works, and it works fantastically. So now I have about 30 of these little cuttings and 7 of these large mother plants that I'm just going to do a quick cutting on today, just show you kind of what I'm looking for when I take a cutting, how I get them set into their pots, and yeah, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I'm super excited. My secret plan, it worked. I had no idea if it was going to or not, but we are looking at some very happy little babies here. So let's get to one of these mother plants and get cutting up. Alright, so here are one of the babies, and I'm just going to gently tease this out of the pot here and give you a little bit of a look. So you can see, I hope it comes up there clearly, but get some sun on there. There's a root there for you. There's some more. So this one has fully rooted now, and we're actually starting to get new growth come out the center. So that's really what we're after. Now all I did was I had a nice big bushy plant like this, and you have the main leader here. When the plants got to about 12 to 16 inches, what I did was I took my knife. Now, you know, you probably want to use a sterile knife, but I haven't had any issues yet. And I came, let's see, so there's the main leader bud here, we'll say. I hope you can see that, yeah. And then I've got 1 branch and 2 branch. So I kind of wanted to get 3 branches, and I make my cut just below that, right there, just below the node. Make a cut. There we go. So then that is what we're left with. You can see the 1 branch, 2 branch, and then kind of the main growth bud. Now I'm going to remove the bottom branch and remove that second branch. being careful not to disturb the little growth node there. You can see kind of leaf and bud forming there and there. And then I might even pinch this guy off too, because we don't need that. There we go. And then I just took my little potting mix here and got a little hole going there. And then with my cutting, I just sink the first 2 nodes below the soil, and then I firm that around the growing top there. Give that a good drink and put it in nice bright indirect sunlight, and then about 2 weeks later you end up with a plant that has roots growing, which is fantastic. So I find it takes about 2 weeks for these guys to really root well. So my plan is I'm going to continue taking cuttings from all of these mother plants up until about July 1st. That way, around July 14th, all of the cuttings should have been rooted, and it's going to take about 60 days for each of these rooted cuttings to mature, which puts us at around mid-September, which is really when I like to do my potato harvest. So I will continue to take cuttings off of these and get them added to our bin. So I'm looking for a branch that is, you know, a good length, you know, I don't know, 12 to 16 inches. It doesn't really matter. And I'm taking the top off. I don't know if you can see that here or not. This little bit here. Now I want to leave the 1 node below it, because that is actually where, in these little crotches, there's more baby leaves there. And because I cut it above that, the node just below that is going to send up another one of these branches, and it'll leave you with another cutting in just a little while. There we go. Here's another example. So we got great little branching here. So that's 1, 2, and then the main growth bud here. So I'm going to come actually and cut just above this bottom node, just below this middle node. There we go. And what that'll do, that'll signal to the plant that forward growth has stopped developing, and it's going to force all of these lower buds to send out new growth points. So I mean, on this one alone, there's 1, 2, 3. So in a few weeks, we'll have 3 more cuttings that we can take from this plant. And in the meantime, we have a nice little cutting here that we can get rooted in, and it'll give us, fingers crossed, a new potato plant. All right, now that we've taken our cuttings, I haven't counted here necessarily, but it's a hot day out with the sun, so I want to get these guys potted up right away and get them some water and get them out of the sun. So I'm just going to stick these guys real quick. Just making sure, like I say, that there's at least 1 node below the soil level. I'm not sure if that matters for potato cuttings. I know for a lot of the softwood and hardwood cuttings, it does matter, because that's where typically the roots will form out of. But for these guys, I'm not sure. Tomatoes, which are the same family as potatoes, they do not require a node to be below soil for them to sprout new roots. So it could be the same with potatoes here. I'm not entirely sure, but I've had success so far making sure that there is a node below the soil. They're starting to wilt here pretty quick, so I'm just trying to work as fast as I can. And peel that leaf off. Once these guys get a drink, they'll be back to normal. Okay, there we have it. So these are all of the cuttings that I have so far. I think in total there are 51 cuttings plus our original 7 root divisions from this plant. So whatever, we're up to 58 individual potato plants from 1 seed potato. So this has been a super fun challenge. I'm not even close to being done yet. I still need to get these guys planted out, but like I say, I'm going to wait until about mid-July before I get these guys into their pots to grow. I just want to give everyone a chance to root up. Some of these earlier ones that have been rooting for 2 weeks, I'll probably get those potted up into something like this, these big containers, just so that they have a chance to get a head start and grow. But some of the ones that I just stuck today, they'll be at least 2 weeks. So continue to take cuttings until July, and then I'll stop doing cuttings, at which point I hope these plants start to flower and start to produce potatoes, where these guys will take a little bit longer. Long story short, this is a 60-day variety, give or take. So I need at least 60 days from the time they root, I figure, before they actually produce a mature potato. So that's where we're at, but I'm gonna leave it there. So I just wanted to thank you for watching me today. It's been a fun video. I'm not sure if you expected the secret to be cloning or not, but that's what we're doing, and I'm just so excited. I'm happy that it's worked. To see those little roots come out of those pots is just fantastic. So I'm gonna leave it there for today, everyone, but I want to thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out, and hope you had a great time watching me clone these potato plants. So until next time, guys, have a great day. Take care. Bye now.